Welcome everyone, to the channel. Today we delve into a case that captivated the world, a story riddled with inconsistencies, questionable evidence, and a young woman at the center of it all. The unsolved mystery of Amanda Knox and the murder of Meredith Kercher. This isn't just a true crime story, it's a labyrinth of international legal battles, media frenzy, and lingering doubts. Over the next 15 chapters we'll dissect this complex case piece by piece, examining the key players, the evidence, the trials, and the enduring questions that continue to haunt us. Our story begins in the picturesque university town of Perugia, Italy, in 2007. Meredith Kercher, a bright and well-liked 21-year-old British exchange student, had just begun her studies. She shared a villa with 3 other women, 2 Italian students and a 20-year-old American student named Amanda Knox. Knox, nicknamed Foxy Knoxy by the media, had arrived in Italy eager to immerse herself in the culture and language. By all accounts, the initial atmosphere in the shared villa was normal, typical of young people embarking on an exciting new chapter in their lives. On the morning of November 2, 2007, the tranquility of the villa was shattered. Meredith Kercher was found dead in her locked bedroom. The scene was gruesome. She had been stabbed multiple times. The discovery was made by Amanda Knox and her then-boyfriend Raffaele Sollecito, an Italian student. They had reportedly returned to the villa after spending the night at Sollecito's apartment. Their initial 911 call would be the first step into a long and complicated investigation. From the outset, Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito became the focus of the Italian police investigation. Their initial statements contained inconsistencies that raised red flags for the detectives. Their behavior after the discovery of the body was also scrutinized. Knox was seen doing cartwheels and appearing seemingly unfazed, actions that the Italian media would later sensationalize and use to paint a damning portrait. Sollecito's alibi for the night of the murder also came under question. As the investigation progressed, a third individual emerged, Rudy Guede, a drifter with a history of petty crime. Guede's DNA was found at the crime scene, including on Meredith Kercher's body and belongings. He was eventually arrested in Germany and extradited to Italy. Guede opted for a separate fast-track trial and was convicted of sexual assault and murder in 2008, receiving a 30-year sentence, later reduced on appeal to 16 years. However, the Italian prosecution maintained that Guede did not act alone. The prosecution's theory began to take a dark and sensational turn. They proposed that Meredith Kercher was killed during a drug-fueled sexual encounter involving Knox, Sollecito, and Guede that escalated into violence. This narrative, often dubbed the satanic sex game by the media, fueled intense public interest and outrage, particularly in Italy and the UK. Critics argued that this theory lacked concrete evidence and relied heavily on speculation and character assassination of Amanda Knox. The forensic evidence presented in the case became a major point of contention. Crucial evidence included a kitchen knife found at Sollecito's apartment, allegedly with Meredith Kercher's DNA on the blade and Amanda Knox's DNA on the handle. However, the reliability of this evidence was heavily questioned by independent experts, who pointed to potential contamination and mishandling of samples. Other pieces of evidence, such as footprint analysis and fiber evidence, were also subjects of intense debate and conflicting expert opinions. In 2009, Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito stood trial for the murder of Meredith Kercher. The prosecution presented their theory of a sexually motivated killing, supported by the forensic evidence and the inconsistencies in the defendant's statements. Despite their denials and the defense's arguments highlighting the lack of conclusive proof and the possibility of contamination of evidence, both Knox and Sollecito were found guilty. Knox was sentenced to 26 years in prison and Sollecito to 25 years. Following their conviction, Knox and Sollecito appealed the verdict. The appeal process brought forth independent forensic experts who conducted a critical review of the original evidence. Their report highlighted significant flaws in the collection and analysis of DNA evidence, raising serious doubts about its reliability. This new analysis became a key factor in the appeal. In 2011, the Perugia Court of Appeal overturned the convictions of Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito. The judges cited significant doubts about the reliability of the prosecution's evidence and the handling of the investigation. Knox was released after spending nearly 4 years in an Italian prison and returned to the United States. Sollecito was also released. The acquittal sent shockwaves around the world, with many questioning the initial verdict and the Italian justice system. However, the legal saga was far from over. The Italian Supreme Court, the highest court in the country, reviewed the appeal verdict, and in 2013 annulled the acquittal. The Supreme Court cited errors in the appeal court's reasoning and ordered a retrial in Florence. This decision reopened the case and brought Amanda Knox back into the legal spotlight, even though she remained in the United States and did not return to Italy for the new trial. In 2014, the retrial took place in Florence. Despite Knox's absence, the prosecution presented similar evidence and arguments as in the first trial. The Florence court ultimately upheld the original guilty verdict, sentencing Amanda Knox to 28 years and 6 months in prison and Raffaele Sollecito to 25 years. This second conviction once again ignited international debate and raised serious concerns about double jeopardy. Knox and Sollecito once again appealed to the Italian Supreme Court. In 2015, the Supreme Court delivered its final verdict, definitively acquitting both Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito of the murder of Meredith Kercher. The court stated that there was no conclusive evidence linking them to the crime, and that the investigation had shown glaring errors. This final ruling brought an end to the long and arduous legal battle in Italy. Following their final acquittal, Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito have attempted to rebuild their lives. Knox has become an advocate for criminal justice reform, sharing her experiences and highlighting the flaws in the system. Sollecito has also spoken about the ordeal and the impact it had on his life. However, the shadow of the Meredith Kercher case continues to linger. Rudy Guede, the only individual definitively convicted in Meredith Kercher's murder, served his reduced 16-year sentence. He was granted early release for good behavior in 2020. His involvement in the crime is undeniable, but the question of whether he acted alone remains a central point of contention for many. Ultimately, despite the numerous trials and appeals, many questions surrounding the murder of Meredith Kercher remain unanswered. While Amanda Knox and Raffaele Sollecito have been definitively acquitted and Rudy Guede convicted, the full truth of what happened that night in Perugia may never be known. Was there another person involved? Did the Italian police focus too heavily on Knox and Sollecito, potentially overlooking other leads? The case of Amanda Knox remains a stark reminder of the complexities of the justice system, the power of media narratives, and the enduring tragedy of a young life lost. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the unsolved mystery of Amanda Knox. What are your thoughts on this case? Do you believe justice has been served? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more explorations into the world of true crime.